It's Fleetwood Jr. from West Orlando, Florida, and I'm tapped in right now with Industry's Most Wanted with Tampa Mystic. Let's get it.
Yeah, hey, we the last real ones left. Yeah, 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 all about business gon' step. Yeah, being myself, no stress. Yeah, out the way running my check. Yeah, I'm waking up, they slept. Yeah, we the last real ones left. Yeah.
What's going on? It is your girl, Tampa Mystic, and we are back with another episode of
Industry's Most Wanted.
Fleetwood Jr. Good morning. How are you?
I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling brand new, and I'm just back. I'm glad to be here. You know what I mean? It's my peace and my tranquility. It's like I'm a Buddhist right now in the temple. You feel me? When I come on Industry Most Wanted, you know.
Man, it's so good to see you always.
Most definitely the same to you. You feel me? Like, you know, it's like family, Temple. You feel me? Like you made me feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? We've been rocking out for a minute.
Absolutely. And you gifted me something that your son made for me. Let's start right there. I'm gonna hold it up over here so they can see it. So tell me about this piece that your son did.
Oh yeah, he a young creative too. You know, he got an ear for music, but art, you know, one of his things, sports and all that type of stuff. But you know, it's just him expressing himself. But you know, that piece right there, he was just like, Daddy, it's just how I was feeling, you know. And I looked at it, I was just like, that show your strength, son. That show, you know, your imagination. You know what I mean? Be able to, you know, that's what a creative is. Whatever come to your mind, just do it. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm about to literally, like, before we go back to school, I say, Daddy, I'm gonna set you up at Atlantic Station or whatever, and we're gonna put the tent up, we're gonna put the prints out and let you, you know, sell your art, you know, show your potential. You know what I mean? Like, that's the idea of being a creative isn't bad. Like, son, you can literally, it's a thought in your mind and you make it tangible, and now you able to do this with it. You know, I'm just trying to show him how far he can go.
Absolutely. And I love that you're 100%, 110% behind him and supporting him in what he wants to do. That's so important.
Most definitely. I feel like that as a father, you know, like I'm heavy on fatherhood. So like, yeah, like, you know, he definitely is a lot like me, but it's like I'm battling myself, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, I got to give him the game.
Last time you were here, you had mentioned that you were dealing with a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
What was really going on, Fleetwood Jr.? Talk to us.
So like, you know, of course, like every interview when I come, you know, I was reserved. I was able to, you know, maintain and all that and stuff. But at the same, that was like me trying to be strong. But internally, it was like, it was so much going on, you know, like my daughter, she was born in 2023. She was premature. She had BPD and pulmonary hypertension. She was born at 25 weeks. Man. So it's like constant in and out the hospital, constant fighting, constant between, you know, it's like death and life. You got an uncertainty. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on, what's going to happen. You basically giving somebody else, you know, putting life in their hands and stuff. And when they come in later, I don't know, and all that type of stuff, it's mentally just beating, you know. But like I say, somehow I was able to maintain and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was like not talking to people or not really opening up, or it literally deteriorated me, you know, later on.
100%. So you've had to deal with, you know, your daughter's health journey. Do you feel like that really changed who you are as a man, as a father, going through that with her?
Yeah, it changed a lot. Like, it never really necessarily, you know, stopped me for being that protector and, you know, who I am and stuff like that, you know. But just that journey in whole, like, I learned a lot. Like, I learned how much I put it in God's hands and what he showed me and what he did. Like, I was riding with him the whole time. Forget what they were talking about. I seen the opposite, you know. So they could talk about numbers. They could talk about what they experienced and what they felt, you know what I'm saying? Because I dealt with people, you know, kind of like, what they call it when they got no feelings or something, like they just basically like, you know, hey, it is what it is and stuff like that. Right. Like in the medical type of field, like I seen so much over 2.5 years of going through that type of stuff, but it changed me a lot, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna lie, the mental side of it destroyed me though. Like, it definitely led me down a path where like I went through the worst season I ever went through in my life, and I had to rebuild myself.
There's that saying that people will say, I don't look like what I've been through. And I kind of feel like that applies to you because you always exuded like, you know, confidence and being successful. Was it difficult to kind of hide from the world what you were feeling inside?
I'm typically a private person though too, so I ain't gonna lie. Like whatever behind it ain't me trying to be fake or be flawed, but I don't feel like I need to put. You got some people that run these platforms, social media, and they put all everything into it. But my thing is like this a battle I'm going through, and like I say, her mom was there too. Her mom was the only one that understood what was going on. We both went through the same situation at the same time, so it's like it's kind of difficult to. All you can lean on is God and yourself. What you can't, it was a situation where you can't control things. But, with the can't control, then I left it up to God. But for my decisions, my choice and impact, it was like I learned everything during that moment.
Understood. When did you realize that your mental health was affecting your decision making?
Ooh.
Was there like a defining moment for that?
It was definitely a defining moment. Like I literally I lost myself. I burnt out. Like I really crashed out. Like it was like last year, I would say around April, May, like my behavior, I was showing the traits of a person that's battling addiction, basically. Like I was showing I was sober as everything, but it's like it wasn't me. Like I went to the second place. I went to Area 51. I ain't never been there before. Like I was literally like, I don't know what I like when I think about mental health. I used to be like, man, it ain't nothing but a mind thing. You can, control it. I never understood it until I got put in that position. You know what I mean? At 34 years old, I'm learning at this point now. You never start learning, of course, as you get older. But I literally went through my first phase and my worst phase, and it's like I completely lost myself. I wasn't making rational decisions how I usually do. I wasn't thinking really like that. It was like a moment of being overwhelmed and you making all type of irrational decisions. It's like, I get it now. Like I used to didn't get it. Why would somebody move like this or why they would do that and now, but when you in them shoes, it's like, I get it now,
100%. Something that has really been like heavy on my heart, my mind, for a while now is I really learned to give people grace because we don't know what they're going through. Like, quick example. I had some dude in traffic was cussing me out the other day because I wasn't driving fast enough for him. Yeah. He was like literally on my bumper, right? So he finally ended up going around me on a 2-lane run. I'm like, you got it. We get up to the stop sign and I'm here and he's rolled his window down. He's cussing me out. I just sat there and looked at him. I said, let me just let him vent for a minute because he's obviously going through something. For you to be that triggered because I wasn't doing 60 and a 40 or whatever it may be, we got to pray for people like that because something's going on.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. And then, like I say, you gotta, but at the same time, too, Temper, I'm gonna get this out there, and there's no excuse or nothing. I'm a man of accountability, so it's like when your character is known for showing yourself a certain way. Like me, I learned my character, what I was. When I had that moment like that for a span of 6 months to almost a year, just out of it completely. My seeds I planted before carried me. Like most people, when you do certain things to them, you act a certain way, and you haven't really built the foundation with that person, they're going to look at you for what you is in that moment. But it's like everybody kind of, that was close to me, even like I said, the mother of my kids, stuff, she gave me grace as much as pain and everything I was doing, and I was acting all crazy and stuff. Like, I literally, like I say, I had the ways of drug addict. I left my family. I did some crazy, just not thinking, you know what I'm saying? And it's like she gave me grace. She gave me time to get myself back together. You know what I mean? Like I say, she honorable. She ain't do when the moments where she could have retaliated, did so much stuff to me. She's like, I'm gonna get him. You know what I mean? Especially when there's kids involved. Like, I feel like if it wasn't no kids, it would have been none of that type of stuff. But she just values me being a man to be able to do for my kids and the importance of me and stuff like that. But I mean, like I say, at the end of it, and like she was stronger than me. We was both going through the same thing, but I literally just melted. I crashed,
During that season of your life, what do you feel like was maybe one of the biggest mistakes, or would you even consider them mistakes that you made?
The biggest mistakes I say, is how much harm I did. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of them people, like during that season when I'm low and vulnerable like that, it's a lot of things I could have did different. You know what I mean? To not have that impact. Like I say, one of the biggest things I learned is what you do and how you impact people, I really seen my impact, you know what I mean, when it come to my son, you know, which we rebuilding our relationship, we good. Like, I never neglected it was a way, but it's just like the stuff I did in front of him, the arguing or whatever, attacks, and you know, how I would just, I'm one of them people, like, when I hear something and it's one way, I'm not considering like, hey, she may be doing this, you know, protect them. I'm thinking like, oh, you really keeping them from me? You know, I'm convincing myself there's something happening when it's not happening. And I'm just feeling like, you know, how I feel about my kids and things like that. I was literally like just acting out for no apparent reason. You know what I mean? It's like she didn't do anything to me. Like, it was literally like I was at war because I was self-sabotaging, destroying myself. I let things influence me that I know I don't stand on. Like, as a man, like, I was just like, you don't go for that, you don't stand. But it was like I say, I was in the sunken place because my true self will still be there, but then I'm fighting something that is in my mind, which I don't feel is real, but it's saying I'm hurting people at the same time, you know? So it was just like confusing, you know?
You openly admitted that you were the problem in a lot of areas.
Basically.
You know, was accepting it, was that harder than blaming it on somebody else?
And then what's crazy is like, I ain't even truly like, I didn't really want to blame nobody. Like, I ain't really want to, I was just looking at when I really got to myself and stuff like that, taking accountability, like, man, it ain't no excuses. You know, I made poor decisions. I hurt people that didn't deserve it. I let my emotions, you know, take over instead of my values. And like, it was just me owning every bit of it. Once I did that, I cleaned house. I went to like, even though like I was who I was back then, but it's like, okay, I was that. I might not get back to that part of myself, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm gonna be way better than what I used to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not saying like, man, I wish we used to be like that, or you. It's like the 3.0 version of me is just like, it's a whole new me, and it's better than what I was, you know. And it just feel good to recoup like that. But you know, it's people that work with me, it's people that took a lot, you know. Really, like I said, the mother of my kids, you know. And like I said, I keep saying that because it's nothing but respect for her. Cause,
of course,
like I say, she could have did so. I mean, it just, I don't know, like. But I say that's her character, you know. Understood,
and that's a beautiful thing, because other people from the outside looking in, even if they really know you, may not always understand what's going on. Because I went through that heavily, especially after my mom passed. Like, I kind of still carried the trauma of my sister passing, and then I lost my mom, and it sabotaged a big part of my last relationship. And I now know that I wasn't 100% at fault, because everybody's got their flaws. Yeah. But there was a big part of where I didn't see it in the moment that I was the problem. Hey. And looking back, like, you know, just things that go on in our life that sometimes we can't let go of, you know, different, whether it's toxic situations or, you know, tragic situations or whatever we go through. And I feel like you and I are kind of in the same space now, because now I'm like, I feel so good. Like, there's a lot of mental clarity there and attitudes changing. But I feel like God puts us through those situations, because not everybody's intended to come on our journey with you. So, of course, there's going to be certain people that we lose during them times. Yeah. Either we eliminate them or they eliminate themselves because they don't want to put up with what we're going through. And it makes us stronger, because that bounce back be real.
Yeah, it be real. Like, and that I say, even during that, when I lost myself, like, it happened by December, I chose to be a certain way towards wherever I impacted and had that you know, impact on. Like, when I was doing all that impact and damage, I started recouping and recovering and building something new. So while I was focused on that, but at the time, I'm like, I cut my hair, I tried to do everything. I could have had 1,000,000 stones on me, and it still wasn't gonna do nothing to me. And like, even me going to therapy, I got diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety. And I'm going in, you know, therapy. I ain't got nothing against it. But during that time, when it's stuff you can't control, I feel like therapy, you know, that's that. But as far as my choices, decisions, and impact, that was all choice. So I had to go within myself and sit there and be like, man, I felt like I went against everything I stood on. I felt like I was disgusted with myself. I didn't like things about myself. Like even when I mentioned, the suicidal thoughts, like I was that low.
Man.
Like I was that low. I was like, the one thing about a man, with the kids, that's a big thing. Man, if you're a real man, you take care of your kids, like that's gonna impact you. So when I seen that going sideways, and I'm sitting watching everything being destroyed within the matter of almost a year of me just like being out of it, you know what I mean? But like I say, it was just emotional overload, you know what I mean? And it's like I just learned never to make like no major life decisions when you mentally broken. You know what I mean? Like,
man, that's facts.
Yeah, never do that, because that'll stuff like that'll happen. You know what I mean? Like pain explains behavior, but it don't make no excuse. So it's like whatever you got to say about me when I was like that or whatever, you know what I mean? Like to the people that mattered, you know what I mean? When they say what they got to say, I let them be in it. Because I'm like, I was that. I don't defend nothing.
Yeah.
I can't defend that. What I'm going to defend it for? It wasn't right.
100%. You walked away from an 8-year relationship.
Yeah.
What did you learn about making major life decisions while being emotionally overwhelmed in everything that you were going through?
I ain't gonna lie, during that time too, Tampa, I felt like a type of energy on me too. I didn't even feel like myself. Like it felt like something was weighing on me. But when you do that, like slow your roll. You're not in your mental. You're not you.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like myself. Like I literally was, like I was saying, Air 51. Like Fleet was here, but Terry, the man Terry, who I am, like was in a whole different place, and I was not aligned with myself at all. So it's like, just never know not to do nothing like that ever again.
So let me ask you this. Being that how long ago was it that you walked away from that relationship? Let me ask you that first.
It's about a year.
So about a year ago, do you feel in hindsight, kind of looking back at that situation, do you feel like you did it more for her or more for you, if that makes sense? Like to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to take this off of her because I may be putting a lot on her with what I'm going through? Or is it more for you, or maybe a little bit of both?
I ain't gonna lie. And like on the outside looking in, I felt like it was both, because it's just like, on the outside looking in, I was just like, man, when you evaluate yourself, like I'm completely like, the things you were doing or how you were acting and stuff like that, certain stuff, I was like, man, they ain't deserve none of that type of stuff. Like, I just had to keep it real with myself. Like, and I'm like, okay, now it's like, and when you do that, I literally jumped right into another relationship like that, being vulnerable. Like, I literally jumped into another one. Like, nothing made sense at all. Like, it was literally like like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Even the people that was close to me, like, what's going on? And like, but, and I'm gonna keep this real too, Tampa, right? So, and this the thing too, and I'm gonna say that for anybody out there, I'm the type of person, like, if I was me on the outside, if I was a friend and I was watching my partner go through something and he like that, but I know his character is how he always been all his life, or he been a certain way, he ain't like that, I'm not gonna feed into what he doing. I'm not gonna act like I don't make mistakes, so I ain't never did nothing. I'm gonna act like in my personal life, because basically, like, I'm not on stage.
Yeah.
Usually when people not on stage, even if they got some in the background, nobody don't know unless you be around somebody 24/7, the mistakes that they do or things they've done. So it's like, I'm gonna give somebody grace like that. If I know that they character ain't like that, I'm not finna feed into them. I'm not finna play both sides. I'm like, in between that. Like, I just don't agree with that type of stuff. I'm gonna be trying to willing to help somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna talk about them or why they doing this or how they should be doing that or the type of person they is if I know them for real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that type of stuff, but that's what I stand on. That's why I don't talk about people in general, because I know how this world is.
Understood. So you ended an 8-year relationship, but then you jumped into a new one.
Yeah.
So the new one, are you guys still together?
We together. Like I said, I'm currently engaged and stuff, but I intentionally slowed down marriage, you know what I mean? Because marriage shouldn't fix a relationship. Marriage should honor what already been consistently built, you know what I mean? People gotta heal first. Like,
that
it's consistency before commitment, you know what I mean? Actions build trust, not timeline. So, like I say, what I've been through and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I was forgave.
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio. we ain't good with forgiveness like that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, man, if I've been forgave, I gotta be able to. Everybody deserve a second chance. Just like I'm telling my son right now. You know, he going through what he going through, and I'm there for him as a father figure. Like I'm there. So I'm like, I'm telling him the same thing. I'm like, do you believe people need, you know, second chances? Like, and he's like, yeah, you know. I'm like, you see your daddy, I'm your prime example.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, hey, what I did and how I did it, whatever, you know. But I said one thing about it. I said I fixed my mistakes.
We're all humans. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to go through things.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you now in this current relationship are, like you said, kind of taking your time with it. Because one thing I've learned as a woman, my last 2 relationships, I got into relationships with unhealed men. Whether they want to admit it or not, they were both, one of them was for 12 years, one of them was for almost 7 years. And when I met them, they were both going through divorce. And I should have known better from the first time of doing that it ended up with us not being together. We never got married because with them fresh coming out of a marriage, that wasn't on their mind, but it was on mine. So it was a big burden, but I take accountability for that because I should have known better, you know, that listen, and I feel like it goes both ways because if you get into a relationship with an unhealed woman, it may not go exactly the way you want it to.
Yeah, man, who you telling? Hey, but I ain't, like I said, I ain't had to even go on that though, Temple. But you hit it on the head when you say that. 2 people supposed to be on the same exact page.
Yeah.
But like you say, when somebody is not here, even when 2 people ain't here and they get together, like you literally, you know, when y'all get together, y'all both in pain. Hurt people.
Yes.
You know, so, but at the same time, it's like one thing I knew about myself though, I couldn't help what was going on with me, but I was able to still have a positive impact on what was outside of me, you know. That's the crazy part about it. I was still able to, but ultimately I had to come to myself to get myself together and build my boundaries and stand on what I stand on. Like, hey, it ain't never happening again. We ain't never. And it took me a short amount of time with that, but you know, I had to sit down and do forgiveness, you know, with important people in my life and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Even though they ain't get it together as fast as I did, they still choosing we can try that, you know? So I learned a lot, like.
And I love the fact that you gave a lot of credit to the mother of your children. Like,
yeah,
that's big to me. Was that important to you to acknowledge that publicly to make sure that, you know?
Yeah,
that's the mother of your children.
Real.
Yeah.
That's real. You know what I mean? It's real. Like, it's just giving respect where it's supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody ain't doing nothing to you, somebody stand up and they, like, you got to do that. You got to do what's right. I'm believing it was doing right, not wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like, I put myself out there. I did what I did. You know what I mean? But ultimately, it's giving respect where it's supposed to be at. Now, if they was somebody flawed or somebody doing some, you know, not righteous and all that type of stuff, then you can't say that. But I'm like, what can I say? It's like, what else can I say? Just kept it real.
Man, you talked about experiencing suicidal thoughts, and I want to talk about that a little bit. What was it that helped you keep going during them really dark days where you felt like, I don't want to be here no more?
I say, give it to the mother of my kids again on that, because when I had that moment where I was like, man, this deal was going on. So I'm like, and I ain't even that type of person. I ain't never been that low to, you know what I mean, even go there, you know. But at the same time, it's just like, I had to make that phone call, do what I do, boom. It's just so much chaos. I don't move well, like, in chaos and all that type of stuff. When I feel like I ain't got no control, I'm not functioning. I ain't eating. I don't got the drive to really do the stuff I love to do. Like, I ain't never been in that point, you know what I mean? So everything I literally just went through was a first time of learning that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but like I say, in correspondence, that is like, you know, like I say, after all that happened, I was able to get healthy co-parenting, rebuild my son. Like I say, I get nothing but respect, you know what I mean, to the mother of my kids. Like, she gave me time to rebuild instead of retaliating. Like,
yeah, that's an amazing woman right there.
I can't say nothing. What can I say? You know, just keep it real.
No, that is a blessing, because let's be honest, I see it all the time. There's men out here who go through hell and back with the mother of their children, but that's good that you guys are now at a space where, you know, things, it seems like they're, you know, going smoothly. And you said you have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old?
Yeah, she just turned 3, so it was her first time out the hospital. Took her to the zoo and everything like that, you know. So she doing way better. Like, since she got out there, it's just she had to come home. So, but while the whole time she was in there 2.5 years, but I'm not 100%, but I'm trying to hold on to everything to keep myself together. And like I say, when I let go, it's like I literally just fell right on my face.
Man.
Nothing made sense.
And you mentioned that you were diagnosed with anxiety and PTSD.
Yeah.
How did you accept that when you got that diagnosis?
It just went in my ear, went out the other ear, because I ain't want to cling on to it and claim it. You know how when some people hear something about themselves, then they go around and they keep saying it. It happened because I got this, or I did this because of that. Like, they try to use some outside of themselves instead of just taking accountability.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in like as well as I sit, I'm like, man, people be thinking about things and they, it's a choice and decision. That part you can't. It's a choice, literally. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to do this person like this. But what ate me up inside, too, is like, I literally used to be like, man, how can people live and sleep like this doing people dirty? Like, I just couldn't live with myself. Like, I was just like, it didn't feel right. So,
because you got a good heart.
Yeah, it just didn't make me feel right at all about myself. I felt disgusted. I felt like I pretty much done told on everybody. I felt so much. I was disappointed in myself. Like, it was just haunting me. And I literally had to take control again, So, like I said, it made me a better father, better listener, all the stuff that before I even crashed out, the stuff that I needed to work on, it literally put everything into action. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more accountable. Like, I ain't never run from being accountable with stuff, but it was just like during that time, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I was running with everything. If I felt this was going on, It's like I'm attacking when I ain't being attacked. It just.
I feel like there's so many people walking around that have anxiety, PTSD, one or the other or both, and they don't even know it. They don't even know it, and they don't see what's triggering them. Yeah. I kind of was in that boat for a while, and I was never officially diagnosed, but I know for sure I had anxiety, because looking back at the way I reacted to a lot of stuff, I was like, that didn't even deserve a reaction. I should have just let that go. Like I said, fast forward now, if someone lashes out at me, you got it. I'm not even going to go back and forth, because I feel like I'm in a better place now. I'm healed mentally. It's just we are kind of like on a similar journey. I didn't have suicidal thoughts, but I can see where people could go through that. But I feel like what keeps me going is I always tell myself, man, it could be so much worse. There are people out here who have way, way, way worse situations.
More problems. Like,
way more problems. There are people who are living in the streets in this doggone heat, and in the winter times they don't have a home, or they're sick and they're losing their life to health issues. There's a lot more that could be going on, and I pray for those people, and we have to look at it from that perspective. Like, what do we got to be so like anxious about? Life is good, and we're only here one time.
You only got one chance. So it's like what I didn't like, the same way as when I started that platform I was on. What I didn't like, instead of complaining about, I took control of that. Like, so like I say, everything that helped me get through it was God, for sure. You know what I mean? God helped me get through that. The therapy helped because it let me acknowledge. I had conversations about what I was going through. I ain't gonna say it didn't help me, but it was just like, even my children, the mother of my children, and just like people who saw my character, you know what I mean? Not just me in my worst season, you know what I mean? They knew my character, so it's like, nah, he going through something right now. He ain't usually on that type of stuff, so. But it's different. If I was like that, then it's just like, ain't no sympathy, empathy, because it's like when a person, a bad person, or they hurting people, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They can sleep comfortably, they can flourish, I'm just like, man, I don't wear that. I really tried some clothes on that I didn't know I ain't supposed to be wearing. That's like me wearing the bedazzled everything. Like, I ain't doing that, That's just me.
So your daughter's home and doing well now.
Yeah.
What does life look like today compared to, we'll say, 2 years ago?
I mean, despite me, like I say, not, with her every day, but actually I'm gonna be with her when I leave here, so, but that's that's just like my egg. Like, I literally, like, I'm still on 10 about her. Like, nothing. I had to fight the medical people so much. Now it's like seeing her out seeing her not require as much support as how she was when she was in there, like she's literally growing into herself, you know. So it's just a beautiful thing, like life, like God showing me, like despite what any human had to say or whatever, a professional or something like that, it's just like at the end of the day, they don't have the final word on whatever going on. Like whatever was said and put on her, it was the exact opposite, you know. So that let me know God was just fully in control of that.
If you could sit down with the version of yourself from the time of when you were going through this, we'll say at the peak of it, what's the first thing you would tell him?
Tighten up, slow down. You a thinker. You on point. This not you. You gotta get yourself together. Like, you know, if I was able to share that same space, I'd be like, man, you know, talk more about it, open up some more, like don't hold it in, like don't try to normalize and act like you're normal when like you're able to still function, but it's like you can only function so long until you fall off completely. You could be riding that motorcycle for years and be an expert, but when you had that one crash and that just changed your whole everything, you know. So I would just say, man, just seek more help, have more conversations, open up more, like don't be like, I never in my life was to make some decisions that fast like that and move a certain way. Like it didn't make sense. It didn't.
Would that be the same advice that you would give to other young men out there who are struggling and going through certain things right now? Yeah,
like, you know, definitely, like I say, reach out to, if you got one person, if you ain't got nobody, try to find somebody, you know, like I say, either therapy or something like that. Like it's gonna feel cool, like even if it come down to substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, it's like don't even lean on that, because that ain't getting you out of whatever you're going through. It's just temporarily masking it. But when that come down or whatever, and it's just like you don't want to fully depend on that. Depend on yourself. Like don't depend on nothing outside of yourself. Go within yourself. Know what you stand on and know it's right. If you feel like it ain't right or you ain't supposed to be, listen to that. You know, don't let your irrational thoughts take over. And like I say, a lot of young men, frontal lobe don't develop until like 25 or something, they say.
Yeah.
Mine is fully developed. I know better. That's why I say I take accountability, because I know better, you know. But I just I just buried that. Like right now, I buried that part of me. Like it's gone completely.
And there's nothing wrong with people going to therapy. Like coming into this year, because last year I had a lot that I went with, you know, and part of it was because I allowed too many people to have access to me.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And that alone will stress you to hell out. It'll give you anxiety. And then I would kind of go back and forth with people. I go down these ugly rabbit holes, and I had an epiphany at the end of last year. I feel like it was God telling me, you need to pump your brakes, and this is how we're going to approach coming into 2026. And I even said to myself and a couple of people close to me, I'm like, if I don't start feeling better, I'm going to get therapy. Fortunately, I was able to work through it on my own. Not on my own, all glory to God. I feel like, you know, now I'm in a much better place mentally, not letting people have so much access to me. But by doing that as well, it also eliminates the people who aren't going to be there, because some people don't like when they don't have access to you. They love you when they have access to you, but as soon as you like kind of set them boundaries, they don't like that, and they're going to eliminate themselves, and that's cool, because it puts you in a more peaceful place.
Yeah, like look at you standing on something. Why you think you can stand on something now? Like you ain't been standing, they ain't got a problem with you standing on.
Exactly. You know, so something that I've really incorporated into my life is, one, when people show you who they are, believe them. That's one. Number two, people are only going to treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Yeah, for real.
So when you develop a new relationship with someone, and I ain't talking about necessarily romantic, whether it's friendship, business, whatever, when you meet someone new, from day one, show that person how to treat you. Because we as humans sometimes will give people grace, or if it is maybe you're entering into a new romantic situation, you'll maybe do stuff you won't normally do because you want to make that person happy. We ain't doing that no more. Be yourself from day one, because when you start transitioning to who you really are, that's when they don't like you no more.
Yeah, and that's the real test too, though. That's why I say, scratch out it. I'm starting a new, fresh, whatever. This is what I'm on. If you don't fit that, then I mean, if it feel weird for you to really stand on something, or be honest, or be truthful, or keep it real, then we just can't. You know what I mean? But that's the boundaries I set, and that's what I'm on.
I want to quote something that you said. I was the problem, I owned it, and I changed. What do you hope people take away from that message?
Just exactly what it is, you know. You feel so much better about yourself. You can breathe. You ain't like it's almost a feeling of like you done did something and now you know somebody coming for you. You ain't gotta feel like that either. Like you don't have to worry about it's no worries. You know what I mean? Like people accept you for what you are, or they gonna keep riding with you even when it in your darkest moments. Like I was in my darkest moments. I know who was there and I knew whoever said whatever they said, but it's like I peeped through the real and what's not.
Yeah.
I can live without. I ain't gotta be like I don't need you. All I need, like I said, is my kids, the healthy co-parent, and if you come around, you come around. But even if we ain't got, I'm cool with that. I ain't chasing no relationship, no validation for people. Man,
and we have to be okay with that because everything that we're going through, other people are too. Mm-hmm. People don't go to bed at night worrying about my problems or your problems. They worrying about their own crap. Yeah. So it's like if someone don't like me, I don't care, and I don't mean that in a a-hole way. Mm-hmm. I've got enough of my own stuff to worry about. I'm not gonna let what other people got going on or think about me or whatever keep me up at night no more. I used to, because I used to be a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like Tampa Mystic, and I wanted everybody to be happy. And when I eliminated doing that, life got so much better. And that was literally just at the top of this year. Yeah. I was that way for a long time. Yeah. We ain't seeking, like you said, seeking validation from nobody. If you like me, cool. If you don't, that's okay too. I wish you well. I don't have animosity with not one person on this earth. If they have it with me, that's on them. But it's like, I can fall asleep and go to bed and I feel better, you know, like there were nights where it would keep me up. Do you feel like you're sleeping better now?
Man, yeah, I'm sleeping better because I got myself together. It would never bite nobody else, because at the end of the day, who gonna take care of you better than you? Man. If I would have lost my mind and I would have done did whatever I would have did, who gonna take care of my kids? Who gonna do that? Them my kids. Them my child. You might have something to say, but I guarantee you ain't gonna put your stuff on Front Street. You done made a mistake before. Just because I'm making my mistake now and I'm on stage, but I quickly gathered myself and got myself right. I acknowledge that. You know what I mean? But I mean, whatever anybody else got going on, it ain't my business. But when it come to me and what's going on with me, it's like, I see. Don't think I ain't heard or think I ain't. I've been paying attention. I got my mind, the bulb is screwed back in tight. You feel me? Like, it ain't falling off my shoulder. It ain't loose. Like, I'm on point.
So do you now find yourself throughout the day maybe just taking a moment to check yourself to make sure that you're still, because I do that with myself. Like, I'll give you an example. Say there's a day that maybe I'm not feeling 100%, whether it's physically, mentally, and I will because I verbally talk to myself. Yeah, I think we all do, whether we admit it or not. I'll sometimes say, man, I don't feel too good today. But then I'll immediately say, you know what, man, you feel great today. I don't want to put no negativity out to the world. Even just something as simple as verbally saying, man, I don't feel too good today. No, pick your shit up, pick it up and get it together. You know what I'm saying? I'll immediately correct myself. Do you find yourself doing stuff like that now?
I mean, like I say, I have my moment like I'm him. I'm back.
There you go. Myself. See, that's what
I ain't going out like that. You ain't, we ain't doing that. Like, that's what I be really feeling like, you know, every time it gets better. But ain't one thing about it though, I still got ways to go.
Of course.
That impact was still there. I'm still but the only thing I can do is take it one day at a time. Literally, one day at a time. I can't solve everything in one night. So I'm taking it one day at a time. And as days keep going, I keep showing myself. And because that's the thing, when you rebuild with people, you got to show yourself. You got to show that that's really you back on point. And that literally resets a person's nervous system. You know what I mean? So because their nervous system, if somebody had a crazy impact or something, then one day they try to act like this, and then they go back to that does something to your nervous system, you're gonna be on guard, or you're gonna feel some type of energy when they come around and stuff. So I'm learning that.
I feel like we're always a work in progress. Always. We should always be working on bettering. Whatever we did yesterday, we got to outdo it tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. And it comes with giving ourselves grace, giving others grace, but giving it to ourselves as well. Are you still actively doing music?
Oh yeah, I see, and I was still able to create in my works, but I wasn't as creative as how I was because I was so much mentally battling. Like I say, I couldn't come up here to industry's most wanted and be acting like I'm just so reserved and normal when it's literally I got my whole world crumbling. My whole world is going crazy right now, and for me to be sitting up here like, yeah, everything's fine. Let me push this piece. Let me do. How can I be talking like that? That's not me being authentic.
Understood.
Because I'm like let me get myself together first. And yeah, I've been recording music and stuff like me and let's say my people down in Miami, you know, shout out to For the Culture, you know, DVD Global Empress, Problema Lyrical. Me and him got like over 20 songs sitting just from last year. We submitted to Grand Theft Auto or whatever, and they supposed to be getting the stuff together before the game dropped. But we got when our song got selected.
Nice, congratulations.
That plaque came through that you put me on Tampa that I just got an order, and that's a milestone for real. Just did Trapping Out the Basement with Bigger Rankin.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the music, it never leaves. I literally, like, that was my therapy too. Like, I went to that, you know what I mean? I still, like, but during that, I had to be like, hey, hold on, pause. You can't function, you can't do nothing until you get yourself back right. You can't keep pushing. I tried it, but it was like on the inside, it makes it look like, even with the social media, it looked like, okay, it looked like, but you don't never know the story. One picture or a video or a performance, but still, you don't know what nobody battling.
That is a fact. It's like I said early on, we have to be mindful of how we shouldn't even react to certain situations because we don't know what that person's going through. Mm-hmm. You know, like whatever it may be. I always use the traffic as that person might be trying to rush to get to their dying grandmother. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I try to give people grace because we don't know what they're going through. They could have lost their job and now they're pissed off because they don't know how they're going to pay their bills. Mm-hmm. What is the current single that you would want everybody to check out?
The current single right now, well, it's a couple of them, but I just want everybody to check out Left. It's a record called Left featuring Problema Lyrical. You know, we both on the songs, both our record. But it's just a laid back type of vibe. You know, it get at Miami type of vibe. And it's called, you know, we say we the last real ones left. So it's like, how could I promote that if I feel like, you know, because at that time I was feeling like against all this stuff going on in society, all that type, we standing on something. You know what I mean? So, but nah, I feel comfortable to say, yeah, go check that Left record out because that's how I'm feeling. We the last real ones left. Like, you know, when the roar full of this diluted and you don't know what's what for real, you got to do extra. Back then, it's like authenticity showed it. So
yeah. Now
it's like you got to break it down. You got to see what person's intentions and how they, like, it's too much. That's why it's like I like to keep my circle controlled, who I have around me. And if I'm familiar with it, I got some of the same partners I grew up with. We still do, you know, I'm just real, like you say, accessibility. Just can't let everybody just in. You
cannot. We have to protect our peace because our peace is absolutely priceless. Mm-hmm. We're at the halfway point right now in 2026. Mm-hmm. What is something that we can hold you accountable for the rest of the year? Maybe a goal you're working on or something that you want to make sure you get done that we can hold you accountable for?
Really, in this season I'm in, I'm holding myself accountable for, like I say, the path that I'm on. But it's just like to continue on, like I say, doing what I feel like I'm good at, too, on the way, like pouring into people, keep giving out good energy to people. You know what I mean? Keep like putting in your music, do the podcast with people, like keep lift people up for all that stuff you did. Now you owe people, you owe the world, your society to lift people up. All that stuff you did on your inside, whatever. Now I got to transfer that energy. That's only gonna build me back up into being who I was. Because during that time, I took a break from. I ain't even want to do it. Like I was not myself. Yeah. Like, you know. So I feel like, you know, and it was crazy. It's like, I even tried to force myself to pick that ball back up and do the podcast and stuff. But when I did it, I was trying to fish. It was like, it wasn't biting. But once I got myself together and I did it, now it's like, man, we booked up through July. And,
good
you
for
know,
you.
we just
booked and busy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, so it's like, I don't know. I just want to keep doing that, having that positive impact on people. But I couldn't do that when I went in the right mind because I don't feel it's real. I don't feel like it's me being real. I'm doing all this, but I can't apply it to myself.
It's difficult because through the different things I went through, because this is what I do full time. I don't have a 9-to-5. I had to push through, and there were some days where I even went through a bout of some health issues back in 2023, where I was sick for like 5 months. And I was still having to get up and come here. And it was a very difficult time. And it's like, it'd be hard. But we got to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because nothing stops. If anybody wants to get on your podcast, how do they reach out to you for that? If they want to be a guest on there?
Underdogs Worldwide. That's DAWGS Dogs. Underdogs Worldwide. We got a calendar now, so you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, it ain't no fee. You feel me? Like, you know, a lot of stuff that came from that has been a lot of good relationships, and people actually, like I say, actually paid into it too without me asking and stuff. They just realized, you know, just be being me, just being authentic. Over 100 episodes, 9 seasons about to close out on the 10th season. So I'm just excited to, you know, I've been keeping that going even through the worst circumstances. When my daughter was in the hospital 2.5 years, I picked the ball up and was still pushing. Like, shout out to my homie Billy too. He called me the other day. I just started opening up about her. Like, I literally just posted about her at her birthday. Like, it was nothing but, you know, that baby right there is like a superhuman or a miracle baby. Like, it's so much stuff happening. But my dog called me and said, man, you could have fooled me. I didn't know all that was going on. And he was just like, bro, he said, that's tough, man. He was like, I didn't even know it. Like, I was like, yo, bro, I really, you know, because he watched me continue doing what I'm doing and stuff. But I was like, man, I don't know. But now I feel like, yeah, that's no longer where it's at. But just the fact that, you know, when you can still pour into other people and do all that type of stuff, it's like you still got to leave some of the tank for yourself, though.
You absolutely do. We will pour into everybody else oftentimes except for ourselves. And it's like, what about us? Because if we're not right with ourselves, we're not right for anybody else.
Yeah, and that's for real. And that's also what I want to say, too, when it comes to relationship and stuff. Like, you can still love somebody, but you never should love somebody so much that you lose yourself.
Ooh, I've been there, done that twice. Yeah. 3 times, in fact. My son's father, and then my 2 long relationships, I felt like I completely lost myself in those, and y'all hold me accountable. I'll never do that again. Like, right now, I don't even want a relationship. I just want to take some time just to be by myself and, you know, re-fall in love with who I am. And you're right. We will lose ourselves in relationships.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's the biggest thing, too, because everything is about whatever's attached to you, especially your kids. That's the impact.
Yeah.
So it's like you literally become what you're attached to, too, depending on if it's good or if it's bad, you know. So, yeah, you just don't never want to lose yourself. And like I say, it's not it.
100%. Well, I'm so glad that we've been able to catch up and have this conversation. And I want to say thank you for being so transparent, because there's a lot of people out here who need to hear it. Anybody that wants to keep up with your journey, where can they follow you?
Fleetwood T47 on Instagram, Underdogs Worldwide on Instagram. I say just tap in. It's a lot more going on, you know, more songs coming, you know, being released. And like I say, I'm just leaving up the guy. You know, he been showing out for me, and his journey has been, you know, I don't feel pressured. Like, I just do it like it's normal. Like, I don't feel pressured by like I'm chasing anything or I'm doing this and that. It's just like the genuine relationships that keep being built, keep putting me on to certain things, and it's, you know, I just love that experience. You know, I don't call it floating, where it's just like, but I naturally feel like, whatever you doing, if it's whatever you're passionate about and the relationships you involved in, if you really pour yourself into it, you get whatever comes along with it. Yeah. You know, it naturally just turns into what it is.
100%. You know? I know there's been a lot of people that's been supportive of your journey. Who do you want to give thanks to?
Sure, I want to give thanks to everybody with the Underdogs Worldwide. You know, Underdogs locked in. You know, that's family and stuff. Like I say, I want to give a shout out. Like I say, you know, to everybody that's been in my corner, you know, like they know who they are, you know, like it's just infinite, you know, support, you know. And like I say, give a shout out to myself too, because it took me, it took really me, like, just to make that decision and choose, like, this is what I'm gonna be on, you know. I can't put that on nobody else. Can't look at nobody to save me. I can't look at nobody to do nothing for me. Like, that's been my life journey, you know what I mean? Even me write my book, like, you know, I put that in there too. It's just a lot about surviving and navigating and, you know, figuring myself out.
Tell everybody where they can purchase the book, the name of it, and where they can purchase it.
It's called Rise of the Underdogs. It's on Amazon right now. It's an ebook. So it really just, like, I wanted to do like a little memoir type of thing. Like, you know, I grew up, you know, watching how 50 Cent moved with certain things and how a lot of the artists had their own little memoir. So I say, man, I'm gonna just write one and just kind of put, you know, what it was like, you know, growing up from Orlando and all the experience I encountered up until I got to Atlanta. But it's gonna be a part 2 on the way, you know.
Okay, that's hard. All right, so my last question is, where are we at first and foremost?
Industries most.
Tell everybody what makes you the industry's most wanted.
Man, I feel like, shoot, I'm the dog of all dogs. It's a whole lot of doggery going on with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always gonna have that underdog mentality. Gotta work hard. I don't feel like nothing's supposed to be gave to me. Like, you know, and it's just like, I don't know. I think authenticity, I feel like, too. Industry mode one, even though the industry be whatever they be on, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be that needle in the haystack. They be like, nah, we gonna keep it solid. We gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, for real, you know, but nah, I'm definitely like, wherever this journey takes me, you know what I mean? But I'm never going to forward or go for nothing, you know, so I'm always going to be on that.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Nah, I appreciate your time. But like I say, it's always an honor to come in the building. And I say it's been a year of experiences. It's been a year of a lot of everything going on. But, you know, it brings me peace to actually come back and be a part of this platform, you know. So, and it's just more one, it ain't going nowhere.
You dig? Nah, we sticking around for it. We still got some years left in us.
Nah, for real, man. From Florida to Atlanta. That's how we coming, you know.
Period. We out of here, y'all.